Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Shemel, Shalom, Shalom, Kodash, Shalom to the whole full elect out there. And I'm going to entitle this video, This is Why the Most High Put Deuteronomy 21, verse 18 on down in place. This is 6 hours ago. This was over the weekend, Monday. I'm sorry, was it last weekend? I believe it was last weekend, so-called Memorial Day. This is in Florida. This is added from CBS Florida. I'm not going to play the video, but I'll leave the link in the description box. It says fifth final suspect arrested in Hollywood Broadwalk shooting. All suspects arrested in Memorial Day shooting. So when you watch this video, it's only a minute and 50 seconds long. And these individuals just open up on old people, Edomites, Jake, the Latin tribes, and they all got the same crazy haircuts. You know, you would mistake them for IUIC members, for real. I'm on a white man with this one. You know, throw the book at these niggas, because they have no regard for life, no regard for life. And I don't know if they were both raised by their both parents or the school system, listening to hip hop too much in its many forms. But Jake is crazy, man. They're the real gremlins. The real gremlins. I might just change the name, the title called The Real Gremlins Are Here. Anyway, let me just go ahead and read this precept right here, this law, which is a precept. Precept means law. When you look it up, it says Deuteronomy 21, verse 18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, the word rebellious, meaning back to, and rebellious means war. Rebellious. He's always going to war with somebody. So these individuals went to war with, you know, babies, Jake babies, Edomite babies, you know, southern tribes, southern kingdom babies, Moabite babies, old women, men, old men, senior citizens. They just didn't give a damn. Let me pull this word out. Rebellious. Rebellion means rebellion means to go to war, right? Rebellion means to go back to war. Rebellious. Mara, which means to be contentious, right? Be rebellious, be refractory, be disobedient towards, be rebellious against, to be disobedient, be rebellious toward Father, toward the Most High, to show rebelliousness, show disobedience, disobey. So if the law was applied, bring this back. If the law had been applied, this would never happen. They're out of control. A lot of them, because they grew up under their mother. Mother can't raise a boy, a male child. You need the father, and really you need the father and the mother. And see, that's partially that's part of the curses too. That Jake don't stay with their woman, you know. So them niggas should have been put to death. The scriptures speak about being worse than 7 infidels. Let me go to that. I got to find a new tab. Just go ahead and open up a new tab. Let me go over here. Bear me for a minute. Make this nice and short. Every law that the Most High gave us was for a reason. You know, the Most High knows more than us. There's a reason why every law in the scripture is in there for a reason. Like the grape law. The grape law is in there for a reason. The guys, other Israelites can't see it, and they're guilty of taking away from the law. Okay, so infidel. Let's see what comes up. Okay. 1 Timothy 5, verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. Worse than an infidel. Let's look at the word infidel. But Jake is out of order all the way around. They're just completely out of order. That's why the Most High is getting ready to pull the curtain on these ninjas, because he's not going to do what he did coming out of Egypt, to have a whole bunch of rebellious ninjas going to the wilderness to destroy him. He's going to destroy him on this side and deliver the ones that are of the elect, and he's going to change them. And that's the fulfillment of the new covenant. The new covenant, you can say, is partially here because Yahushua fulfilled his part by being a sacrificial lamb. So that's a part of the new covenant is fulfilled, but the fulfillment of the completeness of the covenant will take place when we are changed, when the kingdom comes, because we're going to be perfect. So I'm going to look up the word infidel. It's from the Greek. Apistas, unfaithful, faithless, not to be trusted, perfidious, incredible, not to believe, incredible, incredible of things, unbelieving, incredulous, which another way of saying not to believe, without trust in the Most High. So like I said, we're completely out of order all the way around. And this is why you have this here. Yeah, Jake is out of fucking order, man. Jake is out of order. I saw a bunch, I pulled my car up, my truck up. There was a bunch of young Jakes out there. And I noticed they were sometimes they were all wearing white t-shirts, and some were wearing gray. You see, sometimes they wear red, blood. The Crips is blue. Then you have, other. Back in the day when we were young, we used to fly colors. They were like lead jackets. We put the colors on there. So they just wear like white tee. We're gonna wear all white. Not our gang, it's the white t-shirt gang or whatever you call it. And I mean, you can look at them. These are demons, man. These are bred demons. These are straight up demons right here. These are straight up demons right here. And they all got that. And there's something about them dreads and them crazy haircuts and long hair on Jake men. It's something that does something to their brain cells. They're destroying your brain cells, son. They're destroying your brain cells. He running and he's shooting, and they shoot without looking. These are some real fucking gremlins, man. The real gremlins are here. So anyway, I pulled up and they were kind of around the car, and I didn't get out the car, and I waited till they kind of moved. I waited till the demons kind of pushed to another direction. Then I got out. You know, hey, the scriptures speak about a wild bull and a net. What is that? Wild bull and net. That's in Isaiah. Then you got a wild ass. Let me put that in there. Wild ass. Okay, this is what I wanted. This is a good one. Job 39, verse 5. And this describes Jake, who hath sent out the wild ass free. Who that why you think they have such a big major prison systems in this country? Because of you ninjas, man, partially, or who have loosed the bands of the wild ass. In this case, the wild asses. Jeremiah 2, verse 24. A wild ass. Let me jump up above that. This whole chapter's we're going through this over the weekend. Let me start from 20. Jeremiah 2, verse 20. For of old time I have broken thy yoke and birthed thy bands, and thou saidest, I will not transgress. That's talking about anytime the Most High delivered y'all Israelites, they were promised they would do the right thing, and they would go right back to being wicked. And this is why, see, they called on the name of the Lord. After they came out of Egypt, Moses gave the name to the Israel, gave this the name of the Lord, Yahweh. So if they was in a situation, they would call on, they would all come together as one and call on Yahweh, and he would send a deliverer. So this time, in this kingdom that we're in, he took away the fact that we were Israelites. So he damn sure took away the name. So when you're in distress, you calling on Jesus. You picturing Caesar Borgia in your head. You picturing Caesar Borgia in your head, and you're calling on Jesus. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, Jesus. My oh Jesus. And the Lord ain't listen to you because that's not his name. Jehovah God. Ain't but one God, and I know who that is. That's Jehovah God. Ain't no Jehovah, ain't no J. It says, I will not trespass. This is Jake. That's why, like I said, the Most High is going to do it. He's going to do it a different way. He's going to only deliver the elect, and he's going to change them in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. Give me a second. Give me a second. I was expecting that call. It says, I will not transgress when upon every hill, every high hill, and under every green tree thou wandereth. Now, every high hill and every green tree represents out there in, like if you go to Isaiah, I'm not going to go to it, but Isaiah 65 speaks about that out there among the trees, the groves. So every high hill and under every green tree is talking about these different philosophies that you're in. Whether you are Moor, whether you're Baptist, whether you're Methodist, whether you're Jehovah Witness, whether you're atheist, whether you trust in democracy, or you trust in this man's system, or you make a career out of the military. A lot of our women are in the military, and they're gonna die in the military too when they go over there to the Levant. Joel chapter 2, the black consciousness, all these different ways of life that you Jakes have, Islam. The Most High, if you're here worshiping that, when the Lord come back, you're just gonna be destroyed. You're just gonna be destroyed. The only ones that's gonna be delivered are the elect among the Israelites. And just because you know you're an Israelite doesn't make you one of the elect. That's why the scripture said, Peter said, give diligence to make that calling and election sure. Because if you do these things, you will never fall or never fail. I will not transgress when upon every high hill and under every green tree thou wentest playing the what? The harlot. And that's talking about you women. And any woman that you got, brother, that you think is faithful, that bitch ain't faithful, man. Trust me. Trust me, she ain't faithful. That's in Proverbs 30. She wipeth her mouth and say, I've done no wickedness. I'll get that in a minute. Playing the harlot. And the punishment for playing a harlot is you burn her. Don't stone her, you burn her. So the word there is zana. Zana. Call a woman you zana. Zana. Shun zana. To commit fornication, which is adultery. Be a harlot, play the harlot. To be a harlot, act as a harlot, commit fornication, which is adultery, to commit adultery. The word fornication means adultery. Porneia or porneos in the Greek means adultery. To be a cult prostitute. To be, now that's a whole nother subject. Cult prostitute. They have sex in the name of Baal. To be unfaithful to the Most High. Right, that's what we did. So we became harlots in a bigger, wider sense. To play the harlot, to cause to commit adultery, to force into prostitution. That's a whoremonger, a pimp. He forces a girl into prostitution. To commit fornication or adultery. The word means adultery. There's no root to that word. So it really means adultery. That's a heinous crime. Okay, where am I? Let me come back over here. So not only have our sons messed up, but our daughters have messed up too. We're fucked up all the way around. That's why only a few, only a few, this world is for the many, the world to come is for the few. It says, yet I had planted thee a noble vine, holy, a right seed, How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? A vine. Now let's go to Romans 11, where it speaks about the wild olive tree. The wild olive tree that's going to be grafted back in are Israelites that don't know that they're Israelites. So this is the answer to that. It says 22nd verse, for though thou wash thee with nitre and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, saith the Most High, Yahweh, the Most High. How canst thou say I am not polluted? Jake eats what they want to eat. They do what the hell they want to do, man. Smoking cigarettes is another thing. Drinking alcohol is lawful, but you have Jakes that abuse alcohol. You can eat food, but you have Jakes out there that abuse food. So you pollute your body. You know, all these diseases have been linked to a bad diet. I have not gone after Balaam. See thy way in the valley, know what thou hast done. And see, Jake doesn't acknowledge what they have done, what they did in the past, what they're doing now. So when you see these different camps, like you see IUIC, they're always in front of a gas station, right? How many do you get crowds listening to them? No. You might get one blockhead woman listening to him, and you know she ain't gonna come to the truth. She's looking for a man. That's why she's listening. You trying like hell to speak to every Jake out there. The Most High didn't design us to speak to every Jake out there. Read Matthew 10, on about the 22nd verse on down. I believe it's the 25th verse. We will not go into every city, all the cities, until the Lord come. Thou art a swift dromedary traversing her ways, a wild ass used to the wilderness that snuffeth up the wind, that don't give a shit at her pleasure. You do what the fuck you want to do. And that's why, hey, that's why these Edomite police and even Jakes, they got their finger on this trigger with you niggas, because they don't know what they look at you niggas every day. They study you Negroes. They know that you fucking wild. 9 times out of 10, a nigga gonna do something stupid. So you got to Edomite, when the Edomite cop anywhere in the U.S., when they do their tour, they call it tour. Same thing with the military. It's a tour. You do a tour, right? So when they go in there like they're at war. That's how they look at you. They look at you nigglets as the enemy, as another enemy. That's why they quick to blow you away. So I understand why Esau does what he does, because it's fear mixed with hate, but it's like 99% hate with about 1% fear. I feared for my life. Yeah, you did. 1% of you feared for your life. The other 99%, that was all fucking hate. And that goes back to Jacob and Esau being in the womb of Rebecca. That fight still goes on. That's why Edomite cop will kill you quick, because that fight is in them. They don't know that they're Edomites. You don't know that you're Jake. How canst thou say I am not polluted? I have not gone after Balaam. See thy way in the valley. Know that thou hast done. Don't know that thou know what thou hast done. Thou art a swift dromedary traversing her ways, a wild ass used to the wilderness. So they should be out there in the bush some goddamn where. Ship them niggas back to Africa and give them some spares and let them be in the bush. There's some wild ass niggas, man. Some wild, and in these states like Houston, parts of Florida, Cali, Newark, New Jersey, Chicago, Chirac, It's all over the place. So you know, Esau, they getting together in this their think tanks, and they're saying we should have never enslaved these niggas, man. We should have never enslaved these niggas. Now you got to deal with them. Now you got to deal with them. So I bless you, Mr. White Man. You can pop these niggas' heads off. You can pop them a couple of times with your guns. Yeah, this. It is right here. This chapter. Hey, Jeremiah. I was saying Saturday, Jeremiah. That's a heavy book. You got to read Jeremiah 1, Jeremiah 2, Jeremiah 3, Jeremiah 3. I mean, Jeremiah, Isaiah, these major prophets, as they call them, they say a lot. They say a whole lot. It says, let me jump down to the 26th verse. It says, as a thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Yasha'Allah ashamed. Their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets. You got righteous prophets of the Lord, and you got the false prophets, saying to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone, thou hast brought me forth. That's Islam. That's Jake in Islam. And let me tell you something, man. I'll be surprised if you can give me one individual that came out of Islam that's an Israelite. You probably do it, but trying to get a cat that's in the Islam and to become an Israelite, that's a task. That's a task. If you can do that, you're good. The Most High was dealing with you, because most of us that are in this truth are former Christians, Americanized Christianity and Roman Catholicism, saying to a stock is a piece of wood, the stock of the tree. And matter of fact, let me look it up. Let me look it up. You got a thing called a stock market that goes back to the stock of the tree. Because money at that time, they used to have tally sticks back more than 100 years ago. And the king would be in charge of that. So let me look up the word stock. Itazah. Wood, timber, stock, plank, stalk, gallows. Yeah, because if they would hang you, they would build a gallow, or they would put you in the stock, right? If you watch some ancient movies, they would have some wooden contraption where they would open it up and you put your head through it and your hands through it, and they would close it down, and they would lock it so you can't get out. That's where you get the term laughing stock. And then sometimes people throw tomatoes at you and stuff, you know? So a stock represents a wood which goes into idols. Idols are made from wood, silver, and gold, graven images. So it says here, saying to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone, which is the Kaaba stone, thou hast brought me forth. For they have turned their back unto me and not their faces. In other words, you're not facing the Most High, you turn your back to the Most High. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, arise and save us. They're gonna call on Caesar Borgia, they're gonna call on Allah, they're gonna call on this God, they're gonna call the African ancestors, and none of them niggas gonna answer. None of them is gonna answer, because that's not the Most High. So a lot of our people are gonna die on this side. Most High is only gathering the elect. So anyway, let me do this here. Come on back. So I started with this. 1 Timothy 5, verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he have denied the faith and is worse than an infidel, an unbeliever. So a lot of these Jakes, they'll have they got baby mamas all over the place when they reach a certain age. They got one chick they got two babies with. Then he's off to another chick, got a baby with her. Then he's off to another chick, or she's moving. So Jake is fucked up all the way around, man. I remember when I was a kid, for the most part, Jake was kind of respectful, man. When I was a kid, you had your father stay in the household, man. It was very rare that your father left. So we in a effed up, fucked up situation. So I'm gonna finish it off with this here. I didn't want this to be long, but it's a little long. There's a reason why the Most High put these laws in place. And you're supposed to follow these laws so you don't have situations like this. You don't have situations like this. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the father of the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, they beat him. So when do you stone him to death? You stone him to death when they reach 12 years old. When they reach 12 years old, they either and see the way Israel was set up. If you came out of a household that wasn't rich, there would be always an Israelite that was rich, that did well, that would take you in for 7 years. You would work for him for 7 years. This is what happened with Jacob and Laban. You would work for 7 years, and when you left, you got what Esau calls a severance pay. They gave you enough money to be established. So guess what? If in the ancient world, if an Israelite child, man child, not woman, but a man child, he's 12 years old, he goes to another Israelite man that's well off or rich. He works from 12 to 19. Guess what? At 19, he's a rich man. He can have his own servants. So there was no excuse for not being well off. We were doing good back then. It says, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them. Do you really think, goddamn, where is that? Okay, do you really think that these guys listen to their mama and their grandmother? You think these guys are really, do you think these guys are doing well in school? Huh? These are some badass kids. These are worse than Bebe's kids. These are gremlins, man. Whoa, they're innocent. They're innocent until proven guilty. Well, the shit was caught on camera. Them niggas, they guilty. It was caught. The cameras don't lie. Come back over here. Then shall the father and his mother lay hold on him. Oh, lay hold. Let's see what the word lay hold means. Arrest him, grab him up against his will. Tapaz. That's Deuteronomy 22. Lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders. And like I said, they were able to hold on to him or arrest him because he was still young. He was 12 years old. So he was a young man, but he wasn't strong enough to fight off his father. We ain't talking about a guy that's in his 20s, because he'll beat up his father's mother. There's Jakes out there that beat the shit out of their fathers, man. Elders of the city, and unto the gate of his place, and they shall say unto the elders of the city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton, eats all day, and a drunkard, he gets high all day, playing video games. And all the men of the city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil, because it's evil, away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. If a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree. So anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.